Let's start by making a background. Picking a few colors that speak to me. Catherine Pooler and Ranger Distressed Dye. Those are my go-to ink lines. Let's pick a medium. How about shaving cream? It can be cheap, but it's gotta be foamy and white. Spray some out onto a surface. Let's make it nice and flat. Add my colors, couple dots of each will do. Swirl till I'm happy with the look. Lightly lay my paper on top, just so it's resting on the foam. Regular cardstock works perfectly here. Dip a few more pieces into those colorful swirls. Then when you can't see that cool pattern anymore, confidently scrape off the rest. I'm using a repurposed gift card. That saturated colorful pattern, it is gorgeous on cards. But then you're asking yourself, that can't be it. What other technique can I use this leftover mess for? I don't want to just throw it away. It seems wasteful. There has to be a way to use ink refills beyond just their regular use of re-inking a dried ink pad. How many ways can I take those re-inkers and use that intense color creatively? How do I do that? You just saw one. How about I show you 8 more? Hey chickies, welcome. Originally, I didn't see why I would want to pay to store my ink refills in a bin. That's valuable space in my craft room. Back in 2002, my friend Rose, she taught me just how valuable these little guys could be by showing me how to use them in a wide variety of techniques. Ironically, over the years, I've tended to hoard them. I forget just how creative you can get with those, and I forget to reach for them. They are so much more than just fuel for a thirsty ink pad. The first technique she showed me was the polished stone technique. That's one of the 8 techniques my friend Justine will be showcasing in her video today. Together, Justine and I are going to show you 17 ways that you can use dye-based ink refills, affectionately known as reinkers. You've already seen the shaving cream technique, but I have 8 more to cover, so let's dive right back in. We're gonna pick right back up with that mess we left behind. Most people throw this part away, but I wanted to use it. That's a ton of great color. Sure, the pattern is gone, but did you ever think to throw the rest of that through a stencil? The great part of using a stencil for this is that the color doesn't have to hold the design. The stencil creates the pattern for you. Mashing all of that colorful goodness together, that's what you want. The end result is absolutely stunning, and you can use it in a variety of ways. You could leave them whole, but I like to cut them down. Pairing that colorful punch with white space allows for some balance in your project. That way the impact from those colorful reinkers really gets to shine. The swirl technique is not the only shaving cream technique out there. You can also use what's left directly onto your paper with an acrylic block. Something to remember is that dye-based reinkers are water-based. That means when combined, they blend. When using 2 colors, be mindful about complementary colors, opposites on the color wheel. Complements will create mud. Here's a bonus for you. Smush directly through a stencil too. Use the block to add your color. Only this time, be more purposeful about it. Use the white foam to your advantage along with the color. Leave space between the 2 colors so that you have a nice visual break. This not only allows the top and bottom to shine, but it also creates the perfect area for a sentiment. Every now and then I want a coordinating accent for my card panel. Ink refills are intense in color. They are the perfect medium to dye fibers and ribbon. It does not take much to fully saturate butcher's twine. This is mostly one of the reasons that I have neutral fibers. I can dye it whatever color I want. Just remember, make sure that you thoroughly dry it before adding it to your project. Most of the time, we tend to splatter our projects by smushing an ink pad down and spritzing it first. The problem with that is, the color you're releasing from your ink pad, it's already lessened over time with stamping use. You spritz it, you can see how greatly watered down it is. I encourage you to reach for your ink refill instead. The difference on your project is noticeable. If you're looking for intense contrast on your project, a reinker is the perfect choice. This technique with ink pads is one of my favorites, but with reinkers, the color is so much deeper. It doesn't take much to get tons of watercolor when you take a couple drops of reinker and spritz it with water. Drag or smush your paper in the puddle, lift, and dry. Then just repeat as you normally would. Here's a quick tip. When drying those deep puddles, hold back when just the edges are wet. Add a little bit of embossing powder. It'll stick to those wet areas, and heat set it for a cool, organic look. Different kinds of surfaces can offer different results. Try reaching for glossy paper next time. I like the Chrome Coat brand. It's nice and thick. Add a variety of shades and spritz liberally. but I added just a little too much water here. To blend out all those concentrated dots, try using a watercolor brush. The best way to pick up all that extra watercolor is to lay a second piece right on top. Next time I'll take a third even and get all that extra that's left over on my glass mat. Definitely have extra pieces of glossy ready to go. I love it when I can get 2 or 3 projects done from one. You'll need to heat set it or allow it to dry naturally. It's perfect for cutting out die cuts or using as a full background, but don't just stop there. Ink refills are excellent for dripping techniques too. Add a little bit to the top, spritz, and watch the magic flow down your project. Use it on cards, in art journals, canvases, whatever you want. It's all about that intense, colorful result. How about making your own paint? Gel medium is water-based and transparent. That allows the reinker color to really be the star. Just mix thoroughly with a palette knife or spatula. This gives you an opportunity to paint with a brush or spread it through a stencil for a textured surface that you wouldn't be able to get in its original liquid form. Pick colors that blend well and get creative. Sometimes you want to combine reinkers with things that you don't always think to reach for, to focus on creating with things that you already have in your stash to really maximize your supplies and dollars. Justina's going to show you an additional 8 ways that you can do just that. Click this video right here for the first step.